Ready? Yep. Whoa.
I can tell you about Phillip hunting. Phillip, he will deny it, but he's a poacher. As soon as those things get off, boom. And you're looking over there like, I was just about to pull the trigger.
I mean, because he just has these one-liners, and they're just like, oh my God.
Phillip can't stand the fact that he is older than I am.
Well, Phillip's older than I am.
Oh, he's much older than me.
He can find humor in some of the most grim moments.
I don't really have a serious side. I like to have fun. I like to get things done, but I want to have fun while I'm doing it.
I wouldn't attempt to tell any funny stories on Phillip because he'd have a way of getting me back. So.
The benefit of Phillip to this organization and to this community is his drive, his perseverance. I don't know that anybody has ever said no to Phillip. I don't think I have.
And you know, Phillip never walks away from anything controversial or, you know, somebody disagreeing with him. Several of us were involved in those community meetings and, you know, there were all kind of questions asked, but he never backed away.
He really embodies what all this health system's about, and I think that's why he's on the forefront of the strategic initiatives that we have been taking on for many years.
He is not one to stand up and wave the flag and say, look at me. In fact, he is a very humble person.
He did a lot of things behind the scenes that people do not know. And he is, you know, he's been a champion of economic development in this area, and that has driven the growth of the hospital. And the growth of the hospital is driven by the economic development that he's helped raise. So he's worked on both sides, and so it's made Hall County, Northeast Georgia great. It's made this health system great.
He takes great pride in his hometown and the things that are going on here, and of course he's helped make it great.
The thing he's always kind of taught me and my sister, and that was leave the place better than you found it. So whether it's Hall County, it's the hospital, anything he kind of comes in contact with, he just wants to leave it better than he found it.
But they always just led by example. They didn't, you know, it was just kind of known that we were supposed to help out in the community as best we could.
The characteristic that most often comes to mind when I think of Phillip is generosity.
But all the time, you know, he still had a sense of humor, and there was never any, you know, thing that was not positive.
I get a great deal of satisfaction out of helping people, and I think we all do. Once you do it once, it feels pretty good, and you want to do it again. And I think that motivates me as much as anything, just the ability to be able to help people.
My grandfather and my grandmother were the exact same way.
I think his personality and his perseverance and his community mindedness came from his mother, Janie Wilheit, who was an outstanding woman. She loved people.
He was really raised with a lot of moral integrity, and I think that is his compass.
And I think one of the finest attributes about Phillip is that he knows how to be a really good friend.
He cares very deeply about his friends. He's very, very devoted to his friends, and if you're his friend, he's got your back. He's a devoted husband, he's a devoted father, and quite a devoted grandfather. That's been the biggest delight, I think, in both our lives.
Hopsy is a wonderful grandfather. He is engaged, he is caring, he is loving, he is generous with his time. One of our friends' child said to our children, you know what, everybody needs a Hopsy.
His partner in all of this has been Mary Hart. I mean, she is right there beside him, you know, helping with any and everything. I don't ever just say Phillip, it's Phillip and Mary Hart.
I've heard him say more than once, a rising tide floats all boats. And I think that's really a true statement that whatever's good for the community is good for everybody in the community.
I mean, his leadership touch has been felt across, I don't know how many different organizations and different people have benefited from it.
As he has become much more involved and in strong leadership positions at the state level, he's never lost sight of home, of Hall County and Northeast Georgia. I don't know how he does all that he does.
Phillip is like a one-man band. In fact, we have a cute little sculpture out in our garden of a one-man band. And I think he walks along, he's got a big drum on his back, which I think must be the hospital, I'm not sure. It's the biggest instrument he's carrying. That's a stick banging on that drum, and then there's cymbals between his knees that might be another organization. He's playing an accordion that's another organization. He's got a harmonica, he's probably got a horn, and then of course he's holding his cell phone, which is never away from him. I don't know how he does it.
And now graduate medical education. You know, all of these things have had a profound and will continue to have a profound influence on Gainesville, Hall County, and our greater community.
I couldn't be more excited about the GME program that's coming to Northeast Georgia Health System, and I've been advocating it for some time, but I knew Carol, she had a lot on her plate, and Carol's not going to do it, or her staff is not going to do it till they can do it right. And so when the time came and it was time to do it right, they jumped in, and it's going to be a phenomenal program, be one of the largest in the state in 3 years. So that is just so gratifying to me and to Governor Deal.
I'm just pleased that the hospital has taken the steps necessary to do this. And without the leadership of people like Phillip Wilheit, it would have been very difficult to do.
He's looking at it from what is going to benefit this community and what ensures that we are continuing to improve the health of the community in all that we do.
The old saying, you know, if you don't care who gets the credit, it's amazing what you can get done. And a lot of things have gotten done by Phillip Wilheit's influence and his efforts.
I think it's so appropriate that he be honored and recognized for that.
Congratulations, Phillip. I can't think of a better way to honor your many years of service to the system by naming a conference room in the GME area for you. Well-deserved and well-earned.
It's hard to know where to start, to recognize all the many things that you've done for Northeast Georgia Health System, for me personally.
I do thank him for all the things that he's done for me, for sure, and for the hospital as well.
I have always appreciated your humor, even when I was the butt of it. But I want you to know that I really do appreciate you and love you for the support you have given me personally, as well as what you have done for our community and, quite frankly, for our state.
Phillip, congratulations. You've earned this. I look forward to many more years of our friendship, and I know your leadership is going to be invaluable in the future as it has been in the past.
Thank you, Phillip, for your true friendship to this organization, to our community, to the state, and to me personally.
I would like to thank you for the indelible mark that you have made on NGHS, on Gainesville, on Hall County, the state of Georgia, and especially on my heart.
I remember a story that you shared at a board retreat one time about how you and Mary Hart were walking along a path and you saw all the daffodils on the hillside. And your analogy was that someone had planted those. Someone had to make a difference and plant those bulbs, if you will. And that lives on. And you have done that. You have planted our daffodils, and they will live on forever. And we will be forever grateful to you for all that you've done.
When you're part of an organization like Northeast Georgia Health System, my gracious, it just gives you such a great feeling of pride that I'm a part of this, that I played a role, small role, in building it up to where it is today. So that's why I like to serve. That's why I've been here that long and probably got a few more years left in me.